Alright, Saints Nation, it's now or never. Let's see if our Saints can pull off what would be an absolute upset if they can somehow make this top 20. Of course, coming off a very brutal game, number 5, where they went down extremely early, I believe, in position 28. But the small victory in this case is only 28 teams are left here in the series. A lot of the teams that were falling behind, they opted out for the night. They had enough. So there's already going to be a couple points given out to basically every team based off of their position being above 30th. But of course, the Saints, they want bigger than that. I know Ciriuhs wants to get up into that playoff round. He's always kicking himself whenever he comes up short, whether it be in solos or in teams. Pushes hard, wants to get his team as far as possible. Laysix and Juneyy are always right there with him as well. They've definitely had their moments of shining in this series. Just unfortunately, it's kind of starting to slow down a little bit towards tail end here. Gotta see if they can pull off the upset. As we get through this looting phase, let's take a look and see what's going to be happening, what the tail of the tape of sorts is for this first section anyway. So, everybody has pretty much started off as safe as you possibly can from facing anyone near here. Shift, swerve, Juneyy all up above us as per usual. Of course, we're going to be off to the east side, over by the castle, looting up as usual. Archer, Mandika, and Rocky taking Sweaty Sands. And then Noms, Green 1X, Burrito, all right below us. And then Goober, Empty, and CJ all nearby. And this is pretty much where the safe zone will begin. Pretty much right where Blaze is. We usually see the Saints make a stop at Blaze anyway. So, just basically right on the pathway there. But they're going to have to be careful. Collision course with Walter, McGoner, Bermanus. We've seen them take care of Saints last time by. Archer, Mandika, and Rocky are still looking for that revenge kill from earlier in the series. And then we know that Burrito, Green 1X, and Nom are strong players in their own right. So, of all the players who didn't quite call it quits, it's a lot of the players that the Saints have to worry about given their spawn position. Alright, Arsenal check. Let's take a look and see what the Saints end up having here. Gold Scar here for Ciriuhs is pretty awesome to say the least, but I'll tell you what, he's definitely having a bit of an off day overall. He had that one round, I think it was game 3, where he found like 4 kills out of nowhere when he was lone wolfing it, and that was pretty epic. We see that out of Ciriuhs like or pretty consistently throughout the season, regular season, but in the playoff series, I just not quite have seen it, or I've seen it very often. He makes it work this time by. Next up, Laysix. Let's see. He's always willing to hang on to that submachine gun a little longer than the rest of the Saints, and fully load in regards to weaponry, has the shield as well if necessary. And oddly enough, Juneyy does not have a first aid kit. First aid kit gods are not in his favor here today, and it looks like Saints realize, because they're in a point here where the gap between 20th and 15th is so large that not only do they need to finish strong, they need kills too. So they're going to have to try and go hunting a little bit. They know where some of these players have been. They've been catching on their patterns as well. They could catch a straggler, put some of these teams that are ahead of them in a position where they're down a player early. That would be so huge moving into the late game. That being said, though, if this team here of Green Nom and Burrito, if they've been reading the stat sheet as of right now, the current standings, they will have a hunch that The Saints need to make a play here. So if I were them, be definitely cautious, and I like what I'm seeing with the one player with the bow and arrow up on the high ground. I like how the Saints kind of coordinated fire there onto that player, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. He's lost all of his shields, at least as of that moment. And Ciri, he's looking to hunt. He wants to get the kill, especially with the way the storm is positioned right now. They don't have to worry about running very far. This could be the start of the Saints' comeback if they can make this fight go in their favor. Some more damage here from Ciri. He has the gas canister too. They could completely blow this up. Juneyy's on ground floor here with him. He's really trying to hunt down Burrito. It's weird seeing Juneyy being the one going point blank. This is normally a Laysix kind of maneuver, but you can tell he's antsy. He wants the eliminations here too. Ciri and Laysix shooting from above to try and just tear away at the shield or at this guy's building, and his teammates aren't there. They split up on their landing as well to get as much loot as possible, and the Saints have taken care of Burrito. They needed eliminations, and that's exactly the kind of start they needed. They caught the team in Holly Hedges, spread out, getting a little bit greedy of sorts for their loot, and now putting them down a player nice and early, to say the least, is absolutely fantastic. Where are them? Are they anyway? They were all the way down here with Big Chungus. Yeah, so there was no way they were going to be able to help their teammate. They really got greedy there. As for the Saints' position now, with Mendinka and his team taking a vehicle all the way into the center, this is basically smooth sailing. Saints are not going to have any pressure from behind to move forward into this safe zone and keep themselves moving. One of the things I heard about during the break as well is that right after the Fortnite solos, Ciri had his controller actually that he was using all season break on him. I don't know exactly how, if it was like an analog stick or something that was starting to falter or what, but an absolute awful time to have to switch your controllers. But a small little hindrance, but you can see still picking up where he left off, trying his absolute damnedest, and doing well to lead his team. And it's kind of a weird sensation. Yes, things are super quiet, but I'm sure with the silent nature right now of the way the situation is for the Saints, that just listening to each other's comms and then listening to essentially your own heartbeat during silent moments is just got to be the most stressful thing ever, considering the amount of pressure that the Saints are under to try and make this top 15. Or to at least make this top 16 and hope for the wild card. Of course, a reminder for those who may not know what I'm talking about, because with this this playoff round, these playoff heats, they're mixed or separated between two divisions, and then the top 15 make it no matter what. And the 16th player on each division basically go head-to-head against each other with score. Whoever has the higher score in that regard will be lucky number 16 and make it into the 31-player finals, or 31-team final. Whoopsie. Unfortunately, a little mishap there for Laysix as he gets hit by Juneyy a little bit, sent flying. Saints, they ping out the team right above them. That's Gingy Shift and 29 Swerved. Are they looking for a fight? They're destroying the car. They don't want any sort of retreating from their team if they do take it. Possibly find themselves some crafting materials as well by taking the car out. I see explosions, but I do not see people. What is going on here? It looks like over down in the southeastern section of this map. Who do we have here? The team we haven't necessarily had to mess with too often here. That's going to be Hoax and Wintry and G-Max down to the south, but also right in front. Iconic, Roy, and Prazy. We had Prazy kind of mess with us before. The rest of the team we haven't necessarily had the opportunity to really go up against, so some new faces possibly in the way here of the Saints. They've made it into the safe zone, and rather than trying to take the car into the center, they're going to just slowly walk their way through, climb the cliffs, and look to maybe set up a fort very soon. You have to be careful though, because as you can see in the distance, if we hop into free cam for just a second, all of the players already here. You can see on the mini-map there is just team after team in the vicinity here for the Saints already here in the high ground. Definitely going to be a scary climb for the Saints to move forward. Lots of forts already made. Multiple teams inside each fort as well. Saints crawl their way in. Some good shots there from Laysix actually, and getting some white damage. So that's going to be some health, actual health taken down. Get the damage, then they pause, however. There isn't necessarily another team ready to open fire on them specifically. Wait a minute, never mind. The Saints aren't necessarily the green ones. They're the yellow arrows in this game, so teams just absolutely all over the place. Good chunk of players gone down, but not very many teams. A lot of one-off kills or a couple lone wolves out there. So Saints have not necessarily gained a whole heck of a lot of points based off of position yet. They still need to survive. They need to get themselves, to be frank, they need to get themselves a victory right here, right now, with a bunch of kills to have a chance at getting themselves into that top 15, top 16 area. And it is going to be tough. They did a good start, however, by taking care of the team down at Holly Hedges by smoking Burrito, taking them down, getting themselves the early kill, and one of the teams that are currently in the top 15, kind of gimping them a little bit. It's definitely a good start, and the Saints, they're looking to hunt. They want to play. This is going to be an action-packed game, and we are going to drop on in with them in just a second, as it looks like they've found Empty. And they're thinking about getting feisty with it, instead opting for the fort in the middle. Shots fired. There's going to be Laysix trying to find this yellow team across the valley here. I believe the Saints are down this way, if I recall correctly. The camera kind of running away here on me. There you go. That's actually some past winners here in this series. Goofy, CJ, and Empty basically sharing a fort with the Saints as of right now. Who's alongside them to these? There's Roy, Crazy. Shots fired from Juneyy across once again, putting a little bit of pressure. Some teams battling out behind us as well, sharing a fort. Iconic from the bottom there was also looking to take some pot shots there at Ciriuhs, but no damage done. Looking a little bit rough here for Laysix, kind of getting peppered a little bit, literally going inside the building to try and keep himself nice and covered up. A lot is about to ride here on this next storm location. Saints invested quite a decent chunk of resources to try and keep themselves in a position in a nice fort somewhat near the center. And that's what I like to see. Team Villainous Raid, thank you Team Villainous, thank you, Jackson. Hope you had a fantastic broadcast. You're coming in right at the last moment, right at the climax of sorts, if you will, as our St. Clair squad sitting in 20th. They need to get into the top 15, and there is a massive point gap. They need a victory. They need to go guns blazing. We need to see a pop-off moment, and you're here just in time. That storm location is absolutely clutch here for the Saints, as they are just on the inside. They don't have to worry about moving right now if they don't necessarily want to, but a lot of the players that they were shooting at will need to move, and it is going to get frantic. We'll keep an eye on our Saints as we go along, but what is going on all around them? Sage Tripod already on the move. Empty and Gooper and CJ going to call him out. Possible battle from below. Saints still basically untouched up here, so they're in a good position as of right now. Shots fired from across the chasm. We do see some more. Parkour Ranster, Zackwick. I have not seen him so far, but he's actually making an extremely aggressive move here with Kaz and Young. They're going to try and make a move, and they have the high ground on the Saints. Saints were the ones on the high ground advantage for the longest time, but they are blowing a ton of resources to make sure that is not going to stay the case. Shots fired from below, shots fired across the chasm, and we also see iconic Mandinka, Rocky, and Archer. They've made it here as well. Everybody in this screenshot right here in the top 10 as of right now, or top 15. Zackwick, Kaz, and Young looking to make a final push. Storm is about to get moving in. And the hearts must be pounding in our players right now. You can tell right now nobody moving, which at one point I do not blame them for not wanting to move. They don't have to. Might as well just try and stay low. Get as many points as you can just based off of survival, but at the same time you need to find a pick. You need as many points as you can. Or towards the center, it's going to get nasty as well. This next storm location going to make things extremely interesting. Now where does it go? It is right near the Saints. That is actually a perfect scenario here for the St. Clair squad. They can basically use everybody else's forts to get to the location they need to get to. Meanwhile, all these guys across the chasm, they are going to be in a world of hurt. In theory, Ciriuhs, Laysix, Juneyy, they are all in a perfect like bird's eye view scenario to try and get some kills on some of these crossing members when the time comes. That being said though, there are still many threats there fighting them for these kills. Kaz, Zackwick, Young, all there is looking to make something happen. Parkour, Rancer Twins, they're in a position. You still got the players down on the low ground as well. Are they still sitting here? Ciriuhs actually, hold that thought. In the midst of a gunfight across the chasm with some of the players already getting ready to make their move. Lots of shots, but no contact until Laysix does manage to smoke off somebody with a shot into the shield. Speaking of smoke, however, Laysix going to be forced to move after a bow and arrow shot, going to shut him down for a second. Messy, messy, messy. This is getting absolutely nutty. We have just under 20 teams left to go. Noms gets killed by Macomplex. That's another player down from the already gimped team that was in the top 15. Swerved, Shift, Juneyy made it over. There's Hoax as well. And Wintry and Hoax are definitely in a rough spot. They've definitely given their position away. 29 Swerved and Shift and Gooby having themselves a bit of engagement down below. I'll tell you what, battles are happening everywhere except in one place in front of the Saints. They are not engaging in anything as of right now. That being said though, Ciriuhs making the move alongside the Storm, considering you can see now it's going to start getting messy. Players are falling to the point where the server is having a hard time keeping up, but I don't blame it. Lots of action, lots of shots fired here, and things getting, like I was saying, messy. Mars and 7, a tough group to try and deal with here, for the Saints kind of peppering through. Laysix getting open fired upon. Bit of an opening here for players to try and get the jump on them, but not quite going to find it. And Saints, they must know that there's somebody right beside them. Laysix going to try and open up a hole. Finds tripod, but no damage going to be done. Ciriuhs going to try and just lead them off with the most fortified wall I've seen him pull off here in a good little while. Normally you see him just kind of use wood and just kind of go for it and just try to run for the hills. But he's really making sure that this fort does not go down easily anyway. Elite Connor right across. Another one of those players in the top 5, I believe, here in this series right now. Bags, 7, and Mars, the winners from Game 5. Right in front of the Saints as well. Everybody in the Twitch chat, give the servers your energy, because we are going to need every little bit of it as it continues to get nastier and nastier here. We're up against past winners. We're in the top 16 in regards to this game, but we need to go further to make sure we make that top 15 of the actual series itself. Ciriuhs has the 1 kill from an earlier pick onto Burrito, but that is basically it. Players are falling. Shift has gone down. Meepy and Elite Connor finding themselves a couple kills. Laysix, he has himself the bird's eye view angle. Got like, some decent damage done onto one of the players. He's hunting, he's looking for blood, but also trying to dodge the Storm at the same time. Empty is down, but can somebody get the finishing blow from the Saints side of things? I don't think they're going to find it. And Ciriuhs does actually pick up a kill amidst the lag, so they're going to be able to take care of that one. Trying to get the jump onto Meepy. That is a big kill. That was a player from one of the top teams right now. Laysix finds himself the kill onto Young as well. Found the last blow as the Storm took him down. Saints need eliminations. They needed a good run. They're the ones who are in the high ground position that I've been absolutely praising teams for this entire series. If they can hang on to this, they will absolutely capitalize and give themselves the best possible position to move forward here in this series. Nine teams left to go. Make that 7, 6. Players are dropping, but they are not going down to Saints gunfire. Cut and Sergeant right below the Saints. There's the past winners, Bags, and the squad down below. Mandinka does fall. That's another top 15 player down. And Ciriuhs, he's going in. He finds Roy, takes him down very quickly. Laysix is there alongside them. He has backup. They kind of gave up the high ground, however, so they are going to get showered upon. And it's going to be Mars who finds Ciriuhs. Ciriuhs out in the dark. He's not going to be able to play in this one anymore. Juneyy takes the low ground. He's looking for blood. He's going up against a 2-on-3, though. This is very dangerous. He's going to find one. Can he find himself a second? He does take care of Bags. One pass winner gone. Laysix finds 7. That's another one. A 2-on-2 or 1-on-2. The Saints could very well take this. Juneyy is so low on health. He does get himself at least a little bit more with those shields potions. Laysix in the best possible position. Just have to finish off Mars. They get the jump. They're going to go for it. But a huge shot from Mars. Can they finish it? They absolutely choke it. Mars with a huge individual effort play to take care of both Laysix and Juneyy. What a way to finish off the season. And a beautiful play there from Mars, showing why he's one of the top, or on one of the top teams here in this playoff run. Beautifully done. But holy smokes, what a finish there for the Saints to finish things off. Getting themselves a second place finish. They got a bunch of kills near the end. It was a good run. But will it be good enough? My anxiety is spiking trying to figure it out. That was a tough one, though, to be fair. Juneyy was already one shot. And given the situation, obviously Mars probably didn't know exactly the health bars of each person. But they both jumped in and he eliminated the targets in the exact order he needed to. So I may have said that Saints choke it, but no, that was not necessarily the choke. That was a huge play on Mars, and I'll give him all the credit in the world. Saints gave themselves the best opportunity they possibly could, but could not quite finish the job here today. But could they have finished the main goal of getting into that top 15? Alright, people. I'm low-key kind of shaking here. Let's do this together, why don't we? First off, thank you for watching. But this is not the end. Alright. Let's take a look, why don't we? Jam out one more time. And let's look at this leaderboard. Sure enough, Bags and Mars, fantastic run. They absolutely outclassed the field here today. Aim, Asim, Mo, just super consistent. Fantastic gunplay from all of them. These guys here, DeCrispy, Pinocchio, and Smarty, the absolute like silent killers here. Apparently, I feel like I only I've seen Pinocchio in the one game. Otherwise, I don't know who these other two are. But they made it into the top 3. Fantastic run. Consistent play here from Ideal Play. McComplex and Steve going to bring themselves into the top 4. After the winning in the first one, Kapler, Meepy, and Toasties, top 5. Cut, Sergeant, and Crater didn't necessarily win anything, but they did get themselves some consistency. So nicely done in that regard. Then 1 point away, the Fishing Crew, Derpy and Dylan alongside Arrow CK, find themselves in 7th. CJ, Empty, and Goober, they did get that one victory, I believe it was in Game 4. Was able to ride that momentum to a top 8. Elite, Connor, and Exceed, and Gage. I thought these guys were going to be like the class of the field after game number 1, but fell down a little bit. Iconic, Crazy, and Roy Payne, just consistency across the game. Didn't necessarily win, but they made it work at the end. Parkour, Ranster, Twins, just consistent. Stinky Farts. Every time I saw that player, I thought he was getting killed, but the rest of the squad seemed to come together nicely. 29 Swerved. They got the jump on us one game, or we got the jump on them one game. We got the revenge kill. Or they got us, we got the revenge kill. And they looked for more, but in terms of positioning, they're getting the last laugh here today. And oh my god. Ciriuhs, Juneyy, Laysix by 2 points. Get themselves into the top 15 and are playing on Thursday. Holy smokes. Absolutely cannot believe it. Improbable at its likeliest. And they made it happen. Enough eliminations. Let's go back to that real quick, actually. How did that last game go? 2nd place with 7 kills. That's what it was to make enough of a difference. They had to make up a 30-point gap from 20th to 15th to even get themselves there. They needed that final run. And holy smokes, did they ever do it. I am absolutely proud of this team. They did a fantastic job. Would have been proud anyway, given the season that they had across all of the leagues. But to be able to have a final run like this is absolutely awesome. We will see them on Thursday, 7:30 for the final ones. That one's being streamed by PlayVS, but I think we might do it ourselves as well. That way you make sure you get that Saints point of view, considering the chaos of one stream is sometimes a little bit hard to find us. With that, though, it is just about time to wrap up here. I am absolutely exhausted. This team gave me a heart attack. If all of a sudden Thursday happens and there's no stream, I'm knocked out from the action that we had here today. So again, congratulations to Ciriuhs, Juneyy, and Laysix for a fantastic PlayVS run and getting the right round in right when it counted. Huge game. Couple thank yous, of course, before we do finish off as well. Big thank you to the sponsors that make this all happen. Of course, being St. Clair College, Zekelman School of Business and Information Technology, St. Clair College, Alumni Association, PC Outlet, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. Thank you for making this all possible, and we get to have exciting teams and exciting matches like we have here today. Big thank you for everybody for tuning in as well, showing the Fortnite team some love. Always a pleasure broadcasting for all of you as well. And that being said, as you can tell, the exhaustion is slowly but surely getting to me. So one thing before we do finish off one more time is one, if you think you got what it takes, make sure you apply for our varsity teams right here, right now. stclairsaints.ca/join. Don't wait till September. Don't be that guy. There is no open tryouts. Get your stuff in now while you can. And lastly, of course, whenever we find ourselves back on campus, don't you want to look all swagged out in Saints gear? I think you do, low-key. So why don't you go see our friends over at acquire.ca/Saints. Pick yourself up some Saints merch and rep it nicely. That being said, though, thank you all for tuning in again. My name's Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danners, your producer, for now anyway, unless the Fortnite team just killed me IRL. I'll see you Thursday. Thank you again. Have a good night.